webpage can be found at http://www.insecure.org/nmap. Nmap supports many platforms. For this tutorial, I will be using the Auditive Boot CD, which comes with Nmap 3.75. No report scanner seems to offer the wide range of options that Nmap provides. This tutorial will cover the basics of Nmap usage, along with a few of its more advanced options. Ports are numbers that TCP/IP uses to map packets to services. For example, some of the common ports are presented on your screen right now. You can think of the IP address as an apartment complex and each port as a mailbox. Each resident or service needs their own mailbox to receive messages. TCP also uses flags to communicate. Send flag, or synchronize, is used for establishing a connection. The ACK, or acknowledgement flag, is used for acknowledging a message. The reset flag is used to indicate there was some kind of error. And the finish flag is used to tear down a connection. Nmap has the ability to do all sorts of scans, but the two most common are SYN and TCP Connect scans. The top animation illustrates a SYN scan, which is the default scan type if you are logged in as root. Nmap will send a SYN packet to a certain port on the target host. If that port is open, the target will send back a SYN acknowledge packet. Now let's boot up the Auditive CD and start using Nmap. First, I'll do a simple scan of a known host. Notice the Nmap found some open ports. It tells us which services commonly run on those ports, the MAC address of the target machine, and the vendor that MAC address belongs to. Since I'm logged in as root, Nmap did a SYN scan by default, but I could explicitly do a SYN scan with the following command, or a TCP full connect with this command. The default port range the Nmap scans is 1 through 1024, and every higher port in the Nmap services file. I'll go into how to change the port range later. When scanning hosts, there are a lot of options you may want to use to find more information about the targets. Look at Nmap's man page to see them all. Here are a few of the most commonly used options. -H gives you the Nmap help. Not as comprehensive as the man page, but still good for a quick fix. -S, capital S, gives you the TCP scan option, which we've already covered. The same goes for -S, capital T, which gives you the TCP full connect option. -S, uppercase U, gives you the option of scanning UDP ports as well. Though keep in mind that return results on UDP scans are not as reliable as TCP scans, as far as what port is actually open or not. -V gives you verbose output, telling you more information about the current scan. -V gives you even more verbose output. -uppercase O will try to do an operating system detection, also known as TCP/IP fingerprinting. Different operating systems have different ways of responding to certain kinds of messages. And by how to respond to this, Nmap can try to guess as to what operating system is running on that machine. -S, uppercase V, will try to do a service version detection. For instance, if you want to find out what version of SendMail they're running on port 25, this would be the option to go with. -uppercase P0 tells Nmap not to try to ping the host before scanning it. By default, Nmap sends an ICMP echo request and a TCP ACK packet to port 80 on the target machine, and it receives back a response and knows that machine is up. However, since some target hosts will block this sort of traffic, you may want to tell Nmap to go ahead and scan anyway, even if it can't ping it. -uppercase A stands for aggressive, advanced, or additional. Fedora hasn't exactly made up its mind what it is yet. In the current version of Nmap, using the -uppercase A is the same as using both the -uppercase O and -S uppercase V at the same time, but extra functionality may be added into later versions of Nmap. The -T allows you to set pre-canned timing options. This basically controls how fast the Nmap scans the target hosts. The faster you scan, the quicker it's going to complete, but also the less stealthy it will be. Also less reliable. Doing slower network scans will cause less congestion on the network and also be more stealthy. I would recommend only using the insane setting if you're on the same local area network as the target host. -P gives you the option to choose which ports you wish to scan. For instance, I could say ports 1 through 80 by using 1-80. Or I could say ports 80 and 25 by going 80, 25. -F tells Nmap to do what's known as a fast scan. A fast scan looks only at ports listed in the Nmap-services file. The -N parameter tells Nmap not to do a reverse DNS lookup. This can also increase the speed of scans. This first Nmap command just brings up the help screen. In this Nmap command, I'm using the -VV option and the -P0 option to tell Nmap to give me very verbose output and to scan the machine without beating it. Here I'm using the -O to tell Nmap to do OS detection of the target host. This is also known as TCP/IP fingerprinting. Depending upon how the host responds to certain types of packets, Nmap can take an educated guess as to what operating system that machine is running.
ما لها المجلات ليش؟
This command tells Nmap to see if port 5901 is open and to do an OS and version
لا
detection.
أنا أشوف ورجع تسلي كذا تسلي محمد أشوف.
VNC server, protocol version 3.3. Be careful when using the version detection.
لا الدار العربية إحنا.
Data it sends to probe the host can cause the target service to have problems.
بتصل لمحمد.
Jet the red box with version detection and causes it to print out every fingerprinting test, wasting about half a ream of paper. In this command, we use Nmap to do a UDP scan. We use the -A option to do an OS and version fingerprint. And we set the timing options to insane, so that we get our results back faster. Now we do a UDP and send scan, so we can see both open UDP ports and TCP ports. We tell Nmap to wish to probe only UDP ports 130 through 140 and TCP ports 1 through 1024. There are a few ways we can specify more than one target for Nmap to scan. Here are a few: wildcard notation, range notation, and mask notation. All of the above notations would scan the same Class B network. This command tells Nmap to do a fast scan with OS detection on hosts 192.168.1.102.105. As you can see, this scan returned results for more than one host. Here we tell Nmap we wish to scan a complete Class C network. I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial. For further research, you might want to look at the Nmap documentation 13.